Alldus podcast is brought to you by Alldus International, supplying your expert AI and digital transformation staffing needs across the US and Europe. Today, you are listening to our AI in Action series, where leading minds in AI from across the world share their story, success, and advice. AI in Action cuts through the hype and explores the true impact of artificial intelligence in our world today.
You're listening to AI in Action. I'm your host, JP Valentine. Our guest today is Nauris Dorbe. Nauriss is the head of data and machine learning for Brainbase. Nauriss, welcome to the show.
Hey, hello. Happy to be here.
Oh, we're happy to have you. So, Nauriss, let's start, as always, with a brief background of yourself. Can you give us a quick overview of your journey in technology, where you got started, some of the roles you've held along the way, and taking us up to today as you lead the data and ML team for Brainbase?
So I started in technology. I actually worked in telecommunications as a network engineer for some time, but then started to read up on machine learning, and it started to become a big thing around 2016, and landed my first job as a machine learning engineer. And I went from there, and during the journey, I managed to get some really cool projects done, building from scratch machine learning models to detect license plates of the cars which are being used on public roads by governments. And I also worked as a researcher in university, as academic. And then in the past 3 years, my focus have been on scaling those solutions and bringing them to production. And this is why I started to take more opportunity into leadership roles and building those solutions end to end, starting from business requirements to pushing them to production, to building teams and building organizational structure around it. Yeah, today I'm at Brainbase. It's been around a year already, and it's been really, really exciting journey so far. Since I joined, Brainbase have tripled in size. So the challenges here are really interested in machine learning opportunities a lot.
Thank you for that background of yourself, and you've already given some insight into Brainbase, but if we can take it from a 10,000 foot view, if you can give us an overview of Brainbase, who you are as a business, what the product of Brainbase is, the industries that you're operating in, and then we can go through the data science and the machine learning behind the scenes that's making it all.
So at Brainbase, we really trust and believe in simple solutions for big problems. And Brainbase is a modern technology platform for all your intellectual property needs. And this is especially emphasized with our last releases of new products. And together with existing portfolio, we really offer almost end-to-end solutions for intellectual property needs. And I think machine learning have big role to play for these products, because to make something so complex such as intellectual property and legal tech in general, there are a lot of things what are still being done by humans that are complex, that it requires a lot of repetition, and machine learning is really perfect solution for this kind of scenario.
Excellent. So you've already given some insight there into the importance of AI and ML, but I want to spend a bit of time talking about the day-to-day and the project life cycle. So can you give us some insight into your role, the size of the data team, and what it's like on a typical project life cycle, what you guys are working?
So right now, our team consists of 5 people. Not big team, but we do a lot of interesting things already. And from one side, we are focusing on getting our solutions out into production. For example, one is we recently released a new product called File. And for this File product, it's basically a place where you can file your IP. And to file it, there are actually like thousands of different categories you need to file under. And recommendation engine was exactly what was needed to simplify the process of choosing the right category for your IP, because for every single category you have to pay. And for this specific use case, our main focus was to deliver that to production, because the model and the machine learning part was relatively simple, but getting it to production, getting it to work at the level that is required for the business is another story, and this is where our focus went, and now it's working very well. Another side of what we do is R&D, or emphasis on the research part. And this is where we build something that is already putting Brainbase apart from other products. And there are multiple things, but one thing I would like to mention here is Contract Reader, what we are building. This is basically that very soon we plan to introduce features around contracts where you just upload your contract and our machine learning algorithms read the contract, understand the important parts of it, and extract the information pieces out of it and imports into our system. Without that feature, basically to transition from old school legacy systems to new systems such as Brainbase is very slow, and it can take up to half year or more to get onboarded.
Nauriss, I would love to then learn a bit more about the impact that this product has had for your customers and get some insight into the types of organizations who are utilizing Brainbase for high volume content within intellectual.
So we are working with quite big customers from different spaces, such as streaming services, and specifically there are also customers like Sanrio, and they are basically looking into new platform. They have tons of data which they want to get into our product. And what they come to us is either with legacy systems, the previous systems they used before, or hundreds or thousands of spreadsheets. On top of that, they always have contracts in the form of PDFs or document files. And in those documents, we can find more than 90% of the information we need to onboard our new customers successfully. So building such a tool that can read information out of those contracts is significant. And it basically can mean that the difference can be from onboarding some clients in 3, 4, 5 months, and we can reduce basically that to under 1 month if we have that tool in place. I just want to know that we are still working on it, but there are really good developments already and helping already. Recently, we used this tool to import 25,000 documents into our system. It was 1.2 million fields extracted, which otherwise would be manual work.
You are listening to the Alldus podcast. When you're looking to scale your team, or if you are interested in showcasing your company in a future episode, reach out today. Or if you're in the market for a new role, visit our website to view open positions, www.alldus.com.
Nauriss, you're obviously running the entire data team, which has several locations and lots of different skill sets. Can you give us some insight into the current makeup of your team, the mix of data science, machine learning, data engineering, and how you go about managing multiple teams in different locations?
Yeah, as I said, our team is still pretty small, but we have people all around the world. We have 3 locations. One is in LA, Los Angeles, another one is New York City, and third one is Tallinn. This is where I'm based myself. And we really needed to think really hard, what is the best way for us to work? And of course, we decided that asynchronous communication it's critical for our success, because there's a 10-hour difference between Los Angeles and Tallinn. And basically when one party is waking up, other party is going to sleep. And as in machine learning and data science, when working with data analytics, you have to be very close with your internal customers. And many of our internal customers are in LA. And we needed to come up with a framework and ways of working, how we can actually tackle it. And I think we have done great job of doing that. And culturally, people are really happy and motivated to help each other. And most importantly, all our processes are being handled really effectively. Most of the requests, internal requests around analytics, are being handled within 1-2 weeks, delivering value to actual party. And my team right now is distributed between New York and Tallinn, and we can have stand-ups and alignments on the same time. We don't have to do it on asynchronously, so that is very good.
Nauriss, thank you for sharing that, and it really speaks to the industry we're in right now and how you can be a truly global company. I want to now get your take on future projects that you're working on? I know you and I have spoken previously about some of the exciting work that you and your team are going to be doing and new products that are going to launch. Could you give us some insight into what the next 12 months or so looks like for you and your data team and the types of exciting work that you're going to be doing?
Yeah, so I would like to divide that into two parts. So one part is data analytics, other part is machine learning. I will start with machine learning. The biggest challenge and the most exciting challenge will be around file product, where we plan to introduce new recommendation engines which can recommend from thousands of different categories the best one and precisely with more than 98% accuracy give it to the new customers. And the other feature, what we plan to work on, is understanding when someone is filing a new logo, that in existing database, there is not a similar logo. And that is actually quite a challenging task if you consider that currently in the system, there are hundreds of thousands existing different logos. And the similarity for computer or machine is not the same as for us humans, where we might consider one to be as a similar to your logo. Machine might look at the pixels and think about different, like other similarities such as colors, shapes, or whatever, but in fact it might be something else entirely, like Apple in the logo, red apple photographed in 3 dimensions, and Apple logo actually might be considered as similar logos if presented correctly. So yeah, these are the two big challenges in the space of machine learning. When it comes to data analytics, our company is growing and more decisions need to be made based on data. And we are doing that already pretty well. But considering on growth, we are generating so much data that getting handle of it, keeping up with the pace of each department in the company is a big challenge. And as you're scaling, those systems are very often challenging. This is why we at the start are thinking very hard about the tooling and infrastructure for both machine learning and data engineering, so that we can support not only the use cases we are seeing right now, but also the use cases what if or when we are going to be 10x what we are right now.
Excellent. Final question from me then, Nauriss. As you've now been with Brainbase for some time, you've got a sense of the work you're doing. You guys are having tremendous success with the product. What are you most excited about for the next year ahead for the journey of you and your?
I think I'm most excited about the fact that me, as someone who previously was not aware of IP industry and how to do things there, will be able to use our company's products to basically, with a couple of clicks, not only file my new idea and my new IP, but also to protect it, to monitor it, and without almost any knowledge in the space. That I think is the most exciting part for me, to just simply do it and not spending a lot of money and time on researching how things are working in the space, what I need to do, when I need to do, and so on. So this is the most exciting part to me, really getting this simplicity and value to the whole world and to myself as well, of course.
Absolutely. Nauriss, thank you so much for coming on today and talking to us. It was great to learn about your own background. Brainbase as a product sounds revolutionary, very exciting, and the growth that you've experienced as a business really speaks to how much demand there is for something like this. And we wish you and your team all the best in the year ahead and as you continue to build an amazing product.
Thank you. It was a fun conversation.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Alldus Podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. We are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and any Android podcast of choice. You can also head over to our website, www.alldus.com, to listen to more podcasts, view our open roles, and stay up to date with industry news. Thanks for listening, and stay tuned for more great episodes coming very soon.